As a teacher for over 15 years, I'm a huge fan and supporter of OER. I find the flexibility of the resources to be valuable because they allow me to manipulate and edit content so that I can create engaging learning experiences for those accessing my courses. I use OER as primary sources of instruction and also as supplemental materials for when learners need extra help. Here's one example of how I use a lesson plan with embedded OER in a facilitated instructional model. As we go through this video, I'll be showing you my course with different Moodle resources and activities that I could use in a facilitated model. The sample lesson plan that I'm using aligns with the WIPIA model and includes OER that I want my learners to explore and to help them understand the scientific inquiry process. You will learn how I constructed my course using different Moodle elements. I'll explain why I selected each resource and activity. I'll also demonstrate how I use the Moodle Gradebook to track my learners' progress. I've included my sample Moodle activities and resources under this page so that you can explore them on your own. As a teacher, I want to ensure that I have regular interactions with my learners. When I teach my courses in a digital format using Moodle, I can work with my learners in a classroom or a lab, or they can work on their own from home. I can give them direction on the activities and resources I want them to complete, as well as provide them with feedback on their work. I'm available to answer questions and encourage them to talk with each other to discuss core concepts. So here's how I use Moodle to offer my content to learners using the facilitated delivery model. Let's look at my WIPIA lesson plan, where I'm using two different OER. One is a source of information from the TED-EDU video series. The second is a simulation for an extension activity. I'm using both of these resources to help my learners think about the value of inquiry and scientific exploration. My intent is to craft the course in a way that would give me the ability to interact with my learners. The examples that follow will show you one way in which you might organize your course materials to assist with this type of facilitation. When you are designing your course for this type of delivery, you want to make it clear to your learners through your directions and context that the work they produce will be reviewed and feedback will be provided. This is a view of my course homepage where I've aligned elements from my OER lesson plan. Here I set up the warm-up activity as a discussion forum. The forum is great because it allows the learner to provide initial thoughts on the topic of the lesson as well as providing them with the ability to interact with other learners. Forums are moderated by me, and posts may be rated for quality if desired. In some cases, however, it would not be appropriate for the entire group to see a learner's submission. In that case, I could use the Moodle assignment activity. You'll see that I've used the assignment activity for the introduction portion of my lesson plan. One of the things I like about using the assignment activity is that it provides a one-to-one communication between my learners and me. Using the assignment activity gives me the ability to receive notification when a learner has submitted work. It also provides me with the ability to review and comment on that learner's work. I can also allow for resubmissions. For the presentation portion of the lesson plan, I use the lesson module. Sometimes I want my learners to review materials and I need some indication that they spent the appropriate amount of time with the resource. On the first page of my lesson, I created a content page which provides the OER video. Here, the learners can watch it as often as they want before moving on to the questions that are automatically scored. In the learner view, the lesson provides a number of progress indicators, like ongoing score and a progress bar, to let the learner know that the requirements for the activity have been met. I can change the settings on the lesson activity, but the more indications of progress and feedback that we can give our learners, the better. The data that results from the learner interaction can be used by the instructor to improve upon the quality of the content and the questions. If it is determined that many of the learners are incorrectly answering a particular question, then the fault may be on the part of the question and not the learners. The necessary adjustments can be made by editing the content they view. The practice, evaluation, and application activities from the lesson plan are created as assignments for many of the same reasons as the introduction activity. The settings for these particular resources allow for students to save their work without submitting so that they can work on it as they have time and submit when they are ready. There are notifications built in so that I know when a submission has been made. The value of the assignment module is that the learners and the facilitators can leave comments and interact with each other in private without opening up the submission to everyone in a course. In order to score or grade an assignment, it can be done through the assignment page, as seen here. Scores can be entered for individuals or by groups. The comments and scores I enter here will also be available in my course gradebook and on the learner's grade report. One thing learners always want to know is, am I done? Moodle allows me to use completion tracking so that my learners know when they have completed the elements of a course. Depending on how I set up my course elements, some items complete when learners view them, or I can set up activities so that they must submit an assignment or achieve a minimum score before that activity is automatically marked as complete. Automating this process allows learners to always know where they are at, and it saves you the time of tracking all of this manually. As a teacher, you can find an overall view of your learners' progress through the gradebook. The link to the gradebook can be found in the course administration block as shown here. You can view all your learners' scores at once or drill down and look at scores recorded for just one student. I often want to see how well a student is doing individually, and the gradebook allows me to see all of their scores, including all of the comments and feedback posted or provided within their assignments. The learner can also check scores and make sure the work is being completed as assigned. As with all things in Moodle, I have a lot of flexibility with making changes to the gradebook, or I could just use the default settings set up by the site administrator. This video was meant to provide you, the teacher, with ideas and guidance on how your OER-rich lesson plan may look using Moodle's specific modules in a facilitated instructional model. You saw how I used Moodle Resources and Activities to teach my lesson plan using OER. We also looked at how I track my learners' progress using the gradebook. Keep in mind, Moodle is flexible and allows you many options on how you may wish to present your learning materials. Be sure to look at the samples provided within the course listed after this video. I wish you the best of luck in creating your OER learning opportunities using Moodle.